Mom has a high-profile career, I'm going to have to assume more responsibility and be both your mom and dad. Good thing I made this mom puppet.
Hello, Timmy. I'm Mom.
Where were you? There was a 15-second period I had no idea where you were.
Jeez, Dad, relax. Would Mom get this upset?
I don't know. Let's ask her while I'm drinking a glass of water.
Gloves.
Hey, boys, look at me. I'm Cocky the Rooster Man. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle.
Mother, I feel so sorry for this man's children.
Oh, don't worry, honey. It's very unlikely anyone like that would have children.
Oh, you hit me. I'm calling child services.
You snitch.
What's that thing?
Oh, it's an elliptical machine.
For who?
For me. I'm going to start working out. Okay.
Week, we hereby declare all mattresses half off.
To me, I thought I had more time. You're just a child. I thought if I watched you like a hawk, I'd see the signs and be able to prepare. But it's going to be...
Why don't we show the kids what a healthy relationship is? Honey, will you go on a date with me?
Fine if I have to.
Just like when I proposed.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Stories matter. So after I left the Navy in 2022, my fiance, Mia, was able to hook me up with a job as a lifeguard. I figured it would be an easy job as a corpsman veteran, so I joined the aquatic center at Cal State Northridge. Yes, even though I had a degree, I didn't exactly know where I was going in my life yet. During that summer, Mia and I were able to snag a private job that paid a hell of a lot more than our regular jobs. So we grabbed some gear and went to this private home for a pool party with little kids. As we were guarding, I remember two of the dads talking about work. I started to eavesdrop on them because they were talking about their work with the production of Ahsoka. Eventually, one of the dads got to talking about his kids and the shows they were watching. I don't know, seems like every dad is a doofus nowadays in these shows. Yeah, I think these shows are really messing with my kids' minds. That got me thinking. Why are dads usually portrayed so poorly? What are the effects on our generation, and what can we do about this? And that got me reminiscing about the shows I grew up with. I remember either watching Jimmy Neutron or Fairly Odd Parents with my dad, and when the father characters would come on, he would make the same comments. As I've gotten a bit older, I realized that their opinion carries some weight. In this trend towards the over-criticism of masculinity, it was fatherhood that was the first casualty. Traditionally speaking, fatherhood is about being the leader of your family, reserved for only those who have reached the highest self-actualization and were ready to provide for their kin and raise their own into peak performers just like them. And as someone who is raised in an environment with a strong father figure, I am worried about the future of my generation and the ramifications of decreasing value put on fatherhood, and I do believe the shows we watch are not helping. If you are a man, whether or not you've even considered the idea of fatherhood, I strongly suggest you guys focus up and watch till the end of this video. Devote this time towards gaining a higher understanding of this problem and meditate on it. Because this problem affects our strength as a community, as a country, and as a generation. Now, even though I'm not ready for fatherhood due to the fact that I am in the same economic situation as a third world country taking loans from China, and I have lofty dreams that I must realize first before I can raise my 4 boys, Richard, Jason, Tim, and Damien.
We're not having 4 kids.
I firmly believe that fatherhood is the ultimate pinnacle of the masculine experience. It is the moment when a tiny new life is entrusted to your care, and you are suddenly thrust into the role of guiding them through the journey of existence. Whether you feel prepared or not, the responsibility is yours, and the weight of that responsibility can be overwhelming. But there is nothing more fulfilling than watching your child grow and develop under your watchful eye, and knowing that you are shaping the future of someone you love more than anything in the world. It is truly a powerful and emotional experience. Now, which part of that is reflected in any of today's shows? When was the last time you actually saw a character go up to his or her dad and that father gives solid advice? Now, I know for this video I'm focusing on children's shows, but in adult shows, how often is the father either dead, shows up as a ghost, or when he's alive, he's a total dick to the main characters? Hell, they even made James Bond a dad in the last one. The epitome of masculinity. And instead of showing how he could take on the task of raising a daughter, he fucking dies. Now, if you think that I'm a curmudgeon, you're probably right about that. But if you think that I'm overreacting, I'm not. A study at Brigham Young University found in all of Disney's children's shows that the dad acts like a buffoon or idiot every 3.24 minutes. The children being targeted for many of these shows that make dads look like doofuses are extremely impressionable. Hell, I was extremely impressionable when I was a kid and watched an old Spider-Man show and wanted to be like him so bad I split my head open trying to do a stunt. Back to the point, these shows paint the father figure as a farce to be laughed at, creating the impression that the kid knows more than the dad, and thus they can challenge the authority. These ideals can get worse as it leads to a shift in role models and a child's sense of who they seek validation from. Why seek validation from a preconceived buffoon when you can get the validation from the cool kids who, in reality, know jack shit about what's good for them and what they need to be in order to be successful? This leads to another big picture problem, which is the de-emphasis of fathering in our families as a society. National data reports 33% of families don't have a father at home. 33 fucking %. Here's where I get on my soapbox because we are nearing the collapse of societal values. 71% of high school dropouts, 71% of teenage pregnancies, 85% of children with behavior issues, and 90% of homeless and runaway kids all come from fatherless homes. Speaking on men's issues, we are in a generation that has, on average, the lowest amount of testosterone. And a recent study supports that paternal involvement has lasting effects on the adult production of testosterone, meaning that a strong father in the household can have lasting effects on the next generation of men. And I'll be damned if I let this problem get worse without speaking on it. We need strong masculine dads in the picture to guide and mentor the youth of the next generation. Now, I completely understand that this is a massive socio-political and economic issue that we have to deal with. But we can start with our stories. Part of the problem is this preconceived notion that being a dad is lame, that it's too hard or it's too much responsibility. Our society doesn't believe that being a dad is important. However, we have this nature where we want to emulate what we think is good, especially at an early age. But is there no hope for shows out there to advertise what it means to be a good father? Are we doomed to have our kids watch a continuous stream of shit that advertises an agenda against the importance of fatherhood? No.
This guy's the Olympics. Just shoot the
Ah, so true.
Let's kick this up.
I actually found out about this show while doing some research on this topic. I found an article on the topic that this Australian kids cartoon stands out from the rest because it depicts not just the father being loving and guiding for the kids, but also respectful and loving in his marriage. My curiosity got the best of me, so I decided to check it out. It actually had me, a 25-year-old Navy veteran, laughing.
You kids will play.
And the ladies watch us get all sweaty. Right, ladies?
You got it, Lucky's dad.
Now, it's unlikely an Australian show would change the minds of producers and writers in Hollywood, unless they realize how profitable it is. Hey, money talks in this world, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Since most of my very, very small following are males aged 18 to 34 years old, I leave you with this notion. Each of you matter to the betterment of society. Even if you can't change this world all by yourself, the family you make and the kids you have are the most important ways you can turn this society around. And if you're a Hollywood writer, quit writing dads as fucking idiots. Or just, I don't know, call me. We can set something up. But anyways, let's keep the discussion going. If you are a father, I'd love to hear your input on this. So comment down below what you think and what you think needs to be done about this. If you like this video, please join me and hit subscribe. I'm trying to build a community that can make this world a better place. For a love of all that is good, and a God-given duty to protect it. I'll see you guys in the next one.